Continuing with front page review, and Ramatu wanted to finish off the story about passports.
Yeah, so they said based on the review, a 32-page passport booklet with 5-year validity previously charged at 35,000 will now be 50,000, while a 64-page passport booklet with 10 years validity, which was 70,000, will be 100,000. That's what he said. They also said that that he regretted any inconveniences this increase might cause prospective applicants. It assured Nigerians of unwavering commitments to transparency and quality service delivery at all times.
All right. So I want to take the e-hailing cab driver story. So, apparently they have an association. Let me read out the association. Amalgamated Union of App-Based Transporters of Nigeria have rejected the reduction arrangement announcement that was made by a few app companies and the Presidential Committee on Natural Gas Initiative. This association represents 300,000 drivers nationwide, 120,000 drivers in Lagos State, and the state chairman, Jayesimi Aziz, gave an interview to Punch Metro on Wednesday and claimed that they are not involved in the discussion, that it came to their knowledge via an announcement that they would be slashing prices for people that use their services by the Presidential Committee on Natural Gas Initiative in Abuja when they met, and they were not informed. They said our members who own the vehicles and interfere directly with riders are the backbone of this industry, and they believe that they should be carried along in such a crucial decision being made. They said they are not going to be a party to this. They do not support any unilateral fare reduction whose impact on the operation of the vehicles and livelihood of the members have not been carefully considered. The union has urged the government through the PCNG to provide the complete conversion kit and associated installation cost for them. That is upon when they've gone through this part of the transaction that they can then start giving price reduction to riders. I feel the cost of alien, if you use all those app people now, what you will see in your app, the price will scare you to say, do I really want to go out again? So we move on to Daily Sun. Major headline, Wike dares PDP, I'm ready for war, brands Wabara unfit for BOT chair. In other news, ESUT sacks 6 senior staff for forgery, corruption. NAF airstrike kills 5 terrorist commanders, 35 fighters in Borno. That's from the official report. FCT authorities dismantle Pack and Play, condemns 20% consultant versus federal government sharing formula. Nigeria-US partner on AI for military operations. Federal government needs $100 billion yearly to achieve GDP of over 33,000. Says Baguda. Ondo women protest over hardship. Uzodinma backs Michael Okpara's Good Governance Award, gets accolade. Enugu demolishes kidnappers' houses. And ASU insists on strike, warns federal government stakeholders about disruption of academic calendar. So what story are we starting with?
I like the one for the accountability. The ESUT sacks 6 senior staff for forgery, corruption. The management of Enugu State University of Science and Technology, ESUT, has sacked 6 senior staffs of the institution for alleged criminal offenses bordering on forgery and corruption. The Vice Chancellor of ESUT, Professor Aloysius Michaels Okoli, at the press briefing yesterday, on the outcome of the just held Governing Council meeting, Okoli also disclosed that another staff member who was on suspension for disseminating false information was recalled, but that she would forfeit her salary, half salary, for the period of the suspension. He also explained that the action was in furtherance to the institution's bid to enthrone ethical values and ensure probity among staff and at all levels, stressing that there was no room for corruption and dissolution of duty and fraudulent practices amongst the employees. And this one, in the total submission, it shows us that if we begin to seek accountability where accountability should be, maybe it will help the nation at large for everyone to know that once you do wrong, the hands of the law will be caught up by you, or you'll catch up with you, rather. So at least in all spheres, let us know that we come to the table clean.
Yeah, so I have the Ondo hardship, just like what my banter this morning. They said they all came out with their placards, and some of them, they are widows, mostly widows, and some of them had their babies at their back. They said the economic situation is hard. They can't even afford food. They can't afford food, and they can't even pay school fees for their kids. So they are even begging and asking the government to please look into this hardship. Just like the way I'm getting so many calls and messages. So they are pleading with
schools we might even advise governors, maybe they can waive payment of school fees for public schools. Maybe that would ease a bit of this challenge. Nima, do you have any story here?
Okay, should I go on with the Enugu demolition? So the Enugu state government on Wednesday yesterday demolished properties used by kidnappers for keeping victims in the outskirts of the state, and the properties were mostly uncompleted buildings. In fact, this particular one had underground tunnel. It was a story building with an underground tunnel in the Okwobo layout in Emenenike, where they also found a large cache of arms and ammunition, and they recovered a large, cache of arms and ammunition. They also were able to discover a large farmhouse. They fronted with it, a poultry, piggery, and plantation somewhere around the Ogbeke, Nike, all around the Enugu East local government areas where they used to, to keep hostages, kidnappers as hostages. The operatives were following months on months of investigation, and they discreetly investigated and found this out. And the government decided to demolish such buildings. Take it over.
All right, moving on to Nigerian Tribune. Major headline, Rivers crisis. Anybody took that story? Damagun opens up on controversial letter to appeal court. In other news, Nigeria needs new mapping to address insecurity. That's from surveyors. Alleged drug purchase scandal. Kwakwanso, Algon chairman, permanent secretary arrested. Then, Enugu government demolishes kidnappers. Then Nima took that story already. Withdraw invitation to Ajero, opposition lawmakers tell police. And 500 million domestic bond. Investors' right to asset fund protected under law. Okay.
I have the Nigerian needs new mapping to address insecurity from surveyors. The Nigerian Institute of Surveyors, NIS, has called for new mapping of the country to address insecurity. According to the news agency of Nigeria, NAN, the NIS president, Dr. Matthew Ibitoye, made the call at the 4th NIS Lasses Ali Memorial Lecture on Tuesday in Ibadan, Oyo State, Nigeria. Ibitoye said that the mapping in the country were done since 1965 and were obsolete and could not meet the present realities. Ibitoye also said that urgent action must be taken to produce new maps with modern technologies for the country's security and for the country to win the war against insurgency, banditry, kidnapping, and other crimes. So I think that even with this one for me, few days back that I took my son to Ibadan, even Google Map, I mean, I was supposed to be going to Iwo area as if I'm going to Iwo State, Iwo town. And Google Map was taking me to Akpata. And I actually got to Akpata. Then I had to ask because the map said Yanofa. So I was asking, I went to secondary school in Akpata, so I knew that Nigerian Air Force School was not around that Asli. So I had to travel another 39 minutes back to Iwo Road before I now aligned with my journey. So if the surveyors too are saying that,
so yes, they've been complaining about this for a while.
Do you understand? So it's been going incessantly. So when are we really going to change it? Google Map will see canal like this, will say keep going, keep moving.
Seriously?
I'm telling you, it's happened to me twice.
Several times.
Moving on to Vanguard, our last paper for today. Petrol scarcity worsens as marketers load at 780 naira per litre. That is worrisome. Fake certificates. Uganda, Kenya rights jam. Demand students verification. Federal government criminalizes vandalism of telecom facilities in new gazette. Nigeria made Dangote a colossus. It must now handle him wisely. Federal government increased passport fee. We're taking that. Food inflation reducing. We'll reduce it further. That's according to the finance minister. And police invitation to Ajero, more critical union gives strike notice. So what are we taking in?
Okay, so I have the story of the food inflation reducing. We'll sustain it. The minister said the food inflation in particular, as we know it, has started coming down. Overall inflation has started coming down. First of all, it slowed, and now at 33%. It is 1% lower than it was last month. And we are planning on maintaining that downward flow. It said overall reduction in food inflation and more availability of food at affordable prices is the goal of the administration in the immediate term. I don't know if with the petrol increase now, because they are saying 780 per litre, but
No.
I bought at 1,000.
No, 780, that's my story. The petrol is being taken from private depot at 780. What it used to be taken for was 595 per litre. So from the depot points, the price has increased by 31%. So it is impossible to buy petrol at the same price as before over the next few months.
Now it's now 1,000. It's now 1,000. So in my area, I bought a litre at 1,100. So how is food inflation now coming down when the price of petrol has gone up?
Yeah, they say they're selling for as high as
so it's still very low. They need to do more.
Per litre. I don't think it is what making the headline and we celebrating about the fact that the statistics is showing 1% reduction when in reality there's still everything is still
very
just as difficult for many people. Well, that's all we can take on front page review for today.